Shiring. I just happened to be listening. I just happened to be listening. David Shiring.
It was the 1970s. Disco balls spinning, bell bottoms being worn. James Taylor had seen fire and rain. I was a newly minted engineer, ready to take on the world. It was my first job interview with IBM, no less. Could be the most important interview of my life. I exchanged pleasantries with the interviewer, and then he asked the first question. Dave, why do you want to work at IBM? I froze. I don't remember the words that we exchanged next, but I do remember the next question. Dave, why should we hire you over the next fellow that walks through the door? I froze again. I froze because all I heard were the words of my father in the back of my head, who for the last year had been telling me, be prepared to answer those two questions. But I just wasn't listening. Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, tonight I'm going to share 3 speeches that changed my life because I did just happen to be listening. I was a junior in high school, doing my Algebra 2 homework at my end of the kitchen table. My father, who was an engineer, sat at the other end of the table doing his homework. I got stuck on a problem, and I asked him to help me. He listened. He wouldn't give me the answer, but he gave me another approach to solving it. I got the answer. I said, thanks, Dad. And then, in that teenage, know-it-all attitude, I said, you know, Dad, someday I'm going to be smarter than you. He pushed back from the desk, from the table, crossed his arms, looked at me and said, son, I'd be disappointed if you weren't. I was shocked. In that one instant of seeing that old guy still doing homework and hearing him saying he expected me to be smarter than he was, I learned the importance of continuing education, of lifelong learning, because I just happened to be listening. Fast forward several decades, I'm now the chief financial officer of a high technology company, and I'm practicing all the leadership skills that I'd been told. Decisiveness, objectivity, process-oriented, determined to provide meaningful financials to the company. After about a year of this, one of my team members come up and said, Dave, can I talk to you for a moment? I said, sure. She said, whenever you tell us, whenever we make a mistake, to just come to you. We'll work out the problem. We will fix the process so it doesn't happen again. I nodded approvingly. She continued. But when we see how you treat yourself when you make a mistake, we think, that's what he really thinks about us when we make a mistake. Arrow to my heart. I was dumbfounded. She was right. I wasn't. My performance was negatively impacting the performance of the team. I changed my behavior to be more kind to myself when I made a mistake because of a comment from a team member that had the courage to tell me about my behavior, not having any idea what my response might be. I changed my behavior because I just happened to be listening. I wasn't there when my father died, and I wasn't there when my mother died, but I was there when my father-in-law died, and I watched him in agony with each dying breath. in the last 2 days when we were together alone, he reached out his hand and I took it. And he looked me right in the eye and said, I'm at peace with God and I'm ready to go. From that point on, I strove to live every day so that when I put my head on that pillow, I could say, I'm at peace and I'm ready to go. I changed my approach to living based on the words from a man who was dying. Our lives can be changed at any time by any person under any circumstances, whether it be a father trying to convey a legacy to his son, or a team member who might suggest that we might want to change our behavior, or a dying man sharing his final thoughts on life. The wisdom of the world is all around us if we just happen to be listening.